Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Wednesday, December 22nd. I am so excited to have our guest who I will introduce in a moment after I just changed our background screen so I don't see words in the middle of two of us. And we'll say, you know the drill. Come on in, say hello, grab your coffee, grab your tea, and let's get talking. I'm so excited and we'll say hello to people and then I'll introduce you to my very, 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 very special and phenomenal guest. And Janelle, this is someone that you will probably want to have on your live as well. David, good evening. Thank you for being here. Gabriella, look at you all fancy. Kalispera, which means good evening in Greek. Kalispera. Priscilla, good evening. Priscilla, Eva is our one of our moderators, so she will pop up your website. She'll pop up stuff. So she's the woman in the background, but also the woman in the front ground too. Janelle, good to see you. Aloha. Beth Rogers, thank you for being here. Amy says, welcome, Ava. Thank you for being here. So nice to have you here. And guys, you know, I can't believe we're 5 days to Christmas. Where did this year go? Where did this year go? It seems like yesterday that we were in Portland, Oregon together. So it's a little crazy. I'll give people a little more time to come on in. And guys, if you want to, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, go outside and shout outside. Go to Elias's Facebook page. Just shout it outside. Make it fun. Here's Ava's link tree. Thank you so much. And Janelle says, thank you for all that you do. Love that. So let me tell you how the two of us met. Some of you already know this, but so there we are at the Portland Body, Mind, Spirit Expo. And we had our booth up. There was nobody really next to me because I was like on the edge. And I was like, oh, who's the person behind me? Let me introduce, and you all know that Susan Fuller was with me. And I said, let's, just introduce. And there is a cute curly-haired woman around my height, by the way. And I was like, look at all her fun stuff. And I said, hi, my name's Elias. If you need anything, like a potty break, if you're here by yourself, please let me know. And she was like, thank you, thank you, thank you. So welcome, Eva Goulette. And I am so excited to have you here. So excited to have you here.
Thank you. I am thrilled to be here, and it's so good to see you again. It was like instant friends when we met in Portland, Oregon, and I'm so happy to be connecting with you again here. Thank you for the invitation.
Oh, of course, of course. I'm like, oh my God, celebrating children, celebrating inner child, celebrating children's wonder. So guys, again, this month is all about celebration. So how do we celebrate the child within, and how do we get kids to understand the stuff that you all are interested in? Well, guess what? Ava has the answers to all that because she has a spirit camp. I mean, I think it's phenomenal. So, I mean, I can go on and on and on and introduce you, and thank you. Here is dancingjaguarinspirations.com. Thank you, Priscilla. And then Priscilla also put up your Facebook as well. And awesome, awesome, awesome. I have no idea what this is, so no clue. But hello, Timmy. I don't know what VAWR tech means, but that's good. I'll be sharing her links. Excellent. Thank you. So,
Thank you.
Ava, can you tell people, because I can go on about you, and hello, Luke. Good to see you. Can you tell people exactly what you do?
Yes, I am the founder of Dancing Jaguars Spirit Camp, which is, to my knowledge, the very first metaphysical summer camp for children, where children are taught in really fun, playful, interactive ways, all about their chakras and auras and doing shamanic journeying and working with spirit helpers and learning how to connect to the natural world energetically and learning how to work with pendulums and dowsing rods and gemstones and crystals and aromatherapy. I mean, it is a huge, full 30-hour metaphysical boot camp for kids that really provides them with a wisdom toolbox for life.
I think that's amazing because
Mhm.
so many of us, when we're kids, we totally understand it, right?
Mhm.
Or we have
Yes.
this idea of it and then we lose it. Why do you think we lose it?
I think part of it is that as we age, and start becoming more involved in society and building friendships and going to school, our connection to source energy starts to get muddled. There's a lot of noise that's starting to interfere with that. But also for sensitive children, it's it's something their connection to spirit is something that they talk less and less about because they tend to feel like they don't fit in or that they're not normal or something is wrong with them. So they start sharing less and less. And as it becomes less and less real to them, it has, just a much smaller impact in their life. So I start working with children at age 5 because they're still so open at that time. And I find that children typically start shutting down around the age of 8.
Mm.
So that gives us a good 3 years of really helping children build their toolbox so they are confident that about their connection to their higher wisdom or their connection to source energy. They've really worked with it and started to fine tune those skills. When they get to that age where kids would typically start shutting down, they have the strength or the confidence to know that they don't have to do that, that it's okay to have that connection to both their inner world and source energy.
I think that's amazing. And I mean, this work is so needed. I really wanted to do this type of work with teenagers and
Mhm.
do shamanic stuff with teenagers and really help them understand who they are and the abilities that they have at we all have actually,
Yes.
but I think that when you're younger, again, we all can learn at any age, but when we're younger, I feel that the imagination that um we don't question as much like, did I really see that? It's like you have that innate connection to source, that innate connection to your higher self. So
Mhm.
I think it's fascinating. It's just, and I'm so glad that you're doing this work. Um, Priscilla said, "What age do you start at?" And you said 5. That's great.
Yep.
Danielle says this is a great topic, and Sarah says, "Good evening, Ava and Elias." And sorry, I almost spilled my tea.
Hi, Sarah.
Um, and Sarah joins us from the UK.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
yes, yes,
Oh,
yes.
Sarah, I am trying to find a location to teach spirit camp in Ireland this summer. So if you have any good contacts for me, please connect with me afterwards. I'd appreciate that.
Too bad our friend Martin isn't on, so I could
Oh.
actually connect you with Martin. Martin works with troubled youth.
Oh my goodness, that would be I just got goosebumps. Thank you for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, of
Yes,
course, of
yes.
course, of course.
Can I share a really fun 5-year-old story with you?
I
Because
love it.
this will validate so much why this is such important work for kids. So I had a 5-year-old in spirit camp, and a couple of months later, she was going to school full days in kindergarten and on the bus both ways. So it was a huge change for her. And one day at lunch, she missed her mom and she started crying. And someone who was older than her was teasing her about crying. And when she was relaying this story to her mom when she got off the bus, her mom was heartbroken. But she said, "Well, how did you handle that?" And there, her 5-year-old little girl said, "Mom, I was fine. I know how to shield myself. I zipped up my chakras." Like, this is the stuff that kids really need to learn how to do because it's so simple And they remember these tools so much. I'm writing a book about all of the really profound stories that have occurred at Spirit Camp and after Spirit Camp when parents write into me, because this is the only place that we are aware of where children are learning a full body of work like this that provides them with so many tools. So yeah, anytime you want me to throw in another story, just ask me for
I
another one
love
because
it.
I've
I
got like
love it.
20 of them ready to go.
I love it. I'm looking at comments and I'm listening to you at the same time. Everybody is excited about yes, Martin lives in Ireland. I know. Excellent. Um and Dee Dee says it's so funny. I referred you last night to mother of a young gifted son for guidance. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Beautiful.
Emmy says our man in Dublin.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I kept getting messages from Spirit that I'm supposed to take Spirit Camp to Ireland, so now I'm just trying to figure out how to make it happen.
Well, hang on one second.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that I am doing this. And yes, Priscilla, you can tag him. That's great because hopefully he's not. Um,
Oh, yeah, it's kinda late in Ireland right
yeah,
now.
I've just
Yeah.
because well, Sarah's up and it's like 8 hours ahead of my time.
Oh,
So
yeah.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. So she's at 1 o'clock in the morning. So thank you,
Well,
Sarah.
thank you for being here, Sarah.
And Priscilla says, I just love it. Got goosebumps. Now, what is up to the age that you work with?
I work with kids we have a little kids spirit camp, which has always been ages 5 to 12. That's how I started. But then I had so many children aging out. I did create spirit camp for teens, and I have a really cool story to tell you about that if you'd like. But then I had so many moms, not just moms, parents, saying, I need this for me. I needed this when I was a child, and I know how important it is for my child to be here, but I need it too. So now there is spirit camp for adults as well. Spirit Camp for Adults is just launching after the new year. Spirit Camp for Teens will be launching right after that. Um, I had, um, I have been adapting them so they're available virtually so I can reach more people.
I love that. I love
Yes.
that. Hello, Theta, and hello, Rose. And Danielle, guess what? Ava is already on the East Coast. That's where she lives, on the East Coast.
Yes, I live
So,
in Maine.
yes. So that's and that's where you've done stuff out of Maine before, right? You have a place.
Yeah, there's a lot of spirit camps in the state of Maine. There are a lot of not a lot. There are probably a dozen spirit camp teachers scattered throughout the other states in New England. And through the teacher training program, I am trying to get a teacher in every state because the message I keep receiving from Spirit is the world is ready and the children are waiting. Amass your army of peaceful warriors to take this curriculum to children around the world. So
I
that's what I'm
love
doing.
I love it. So in a second, guys, we'll talk about what her teacher training program is. Now, you've also written a book, haven't you?
I participated in a book. I submitted a chapter to a book
Okay.
called Soul Mission: Leaders Ushering in the New Earth. And I was asked to submit a chapter for the book because of the work I do with children. It is really groundbreaking in the area of child development. And I was asked to participate in the book to represent the children of the world and how the new earth is going to be different because of this groundbreaking work that is coming forward to support them now. Because typically children, in child development, we look at the child's minds and their bodies. And that's really where so much of the focus has been. And now this is really shining the light on the fact that we really need to teach children, or we really need as adults to nurture the spirit of the child. And
Right.
that's what this work does. It's not only us nurturing the spirit of the child, but we're giving the child the wisdom and the knowledge to be able to do it for themselves.
And that's so important. So,
Yes.
so, so important. Now, before we're live, Ava and I were chatting a little bit, and you shared with me something exciting that's happening within the traditional religious structure. What's happening? Tell everybody what you're doing.
Yes. Well, I feel like I'm really, I have a front row seat to a lot of changes that are happening in the world. I have been in conversations with religious leaders in the Catholic Church and in the Episcopalian churches, and I am being asked to bring Spirit Camp to some of those churches. And what I have always been able to take Spirit Camp into churches that are traditionally a little more open spiritually, like Universalist Unitarian and Unity churches, Center for Spiritual Living. But it was really surprising this summer when I started being contacted by other religious leaders who were saying things like, we can always teach children about Jesus, but who's teaching them about who they are? And that's what you do. So I am starting to be approached by religious leaders now, and I feel like there's so much changing in the world right now. Like even the foundation under this, some of these huge institutions are kind of crumbling a little bit, and they're looking for new ways to approach things fresh, because the ways that they're doing them aren't necessarily working. So, medical institutions as well. I've had hospital administrators take my teacher training program, not so much because they want to teach Spirit Camp themselves, but they want to understand how they can start bringing this holistic type of education to their healthy family living programs in their hospitals. And then educators, school superintendents, and high school principals, and a lot of private schools, Montessori, Waldorf, nature based schools, are all reaching out and embracing this new way of working with children. So, all of those institutions, education, medicine, and religious institutions, are all starting to wake up a little more. Oh, and that's one of the things that the Episcopalian priest said. Our congregants are waking up, and we know that. We need to find other ways to support them. Like, that's huge, isn't it?
Huge. Yeah, totally huge.
Yeah.
I love it. It makes me smile from the inside out.
Yeah.
Uh, so tell people a little bit more about the teacher training program.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. It's a 6-day program, and days 1 through 5 mirror what the children are experiencing in Spirit Camp. So I end up introducing the curriculum to my adult students just as if they were children. So the inner children are invited to come forward, which is so healing for so many of the people in the training program, because we all needed this as kids and we didn't have this kind of support. So there's a lot of healing that goes on for the people who are participating. So we are introduced to the curriculum as the children. And then I layer on top of that, let's talk about this from the teaching perspective now. Grab your manual and let's go over that. But then I've discovered that I needed to put a third layer in there of who needs some time to process some stuff that might have come up during that module. So it's really pretty intensive, where there's the intellectual learning of the curriculum, there's the experiencing it from your own inner child's perspective, and then there's the understanding of how to bring this forward in a way that really is engaging for the children and so much fun for them.
I love it. I love it. And you're doing on December 29th, you're doing like a pre intro class, something like that?
Yes, I'm doing a free preview call on Zoom, and I will be just sharing for an hour some more of the stories about how this program impacts the lives of children, and talking a little bit more about the teacher training program and what people get from, participating in the teacher training program, and answering any questions that people may have about it.
Well, please do me a favor. If you have a flyer or something that you're making up or whatever, you have it already, send it to me and I will put it on my Facebook, so
Okay.
I can help promote it as well. Because
Okay.
I just love the work that you do. You know, I have to tell you a story. So at one of the retreats that I did, it was called Honoring Your Inner Voice. And I've done the retreat before, and I decided to change it up a little bit. So there was a part of the retreat that we wanted to deal with inner child. So we played chakra, Red Rover. Um, and then we had a little dancing, uh, like a dancing stroll line. And then we also we had the participants. We gave them all bubbles, and we had them play with bubbles. And these are people that are 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s,
Mhm.
do playing with bubbles. But it was so fun. We were like, Red Rover, send Red Chakra over. So it was so much fun. And instead of, like Red Rover, where you smash into that.
Yep.
So what we did is staff, as we grew and grew, because we started with the bottom chakra on up. The people that were there was an exercise or two that, anyway, they were put in groups and based on their chakras. So the red chakra ran to us, and as they were about to run, we formed a U shape and we circled them and we said, "We love you, red chakra." And then they joined our
Oh.
line and we just went on and on. It was so much fun. And the best part of it, we were in Wisconsin and we were going to play just our own kind of music. And somebody was playing Dancing Queen by ABBA on their boat, like blared right as soon as we got done with the Red Rover Chakra. And it just fit in right away. And people are like doing Dancing Queen with bubbles. It was so much fun to see that lightness, because we did some heavy stuff during the day, but to allow them to connect to their inner child, I think this work is so important, and I really applaud you for you doing what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. I wish I could take credit for the entire curriculum. I don't even know if you heard my story when we were in Portland together, but I ended up um, getting a traumatic brain injury in a head-on car crash, and I
Mm,
started getting these downloads of this curriculum as I was healing from the traumatic brain injury. So I feel like my brain got calibrated to the frequency it needed to be able to start receiving this information. And then I was asked if I would be the voice in the face of this work for the children of planet Earth. So
I
it's
love it.
been, yeah, this is a mission of mine. This is my lifetime work. This is why I survived a head on car crash in California. And now I just show up and do what spirit asks me to do. And they just asked me to have the courage to walk through the doors that they're going to open for me. And this is one of those doors, just being
Uh,
here with you.
Well, I love it. I love it. And let's see, I'm going to go back a little bit. Gabriella says the teacher program sounds amazing. Facebook user, hello, tell us who you are. Terry, hello, good to see you. Janelle says your story reminds me of when I taught my religious ed students about auras, and the nuns were just as excited to learn. I
Yep.
love that, Janelle. Um, yes, for children of all ages. Yeah, sure. Emmy says, is there anything you'd like us to share on social media to spread the word?
Oh my gosh, I would love to have you just tag Dancing Jaguars Spirit Camp and tell people that there's a great program for adults where they can learn how to teach children in their countries. And that if there are children interested in attending or parents interested in having their children attend, then the camp information as we book camps will always be able to be found on the Dancing Jaguar Spirit Camp Facebook page.
And it's important to know, everybody, that Ava is also looking for places to bring this work. So if you know a campsite or something that would house kids, or also your teacher training program,
Yes.
please let her know. Really important. Because wouldn't you like to go to Hawaii, Ava?
I would love to go to Hawaii, Elias.
And Janelle lives in Hawaii, and so does Claudette. So we've got two Hawaiian people from Hawaii up there. Let's see. Janelle says, I will help to promote as well. Thank you.
Oh, thank you,
Um,
Jamil.
Priscilla wants to know, can you talk about your breathing book and techniques possibly?
Okay. Well, the breathing book is something that came in through a download as well, but a lot of them are just yoga breathing exercises. And I teach this in public schools as well. There's a lot on Thursday of Spirit Camp. There's a lot of social emotional learning modules, and the breathing books is one of them where children are taught 10 different breathing techniques. And once they have learned the technique, we have them sit down and there's a little coloring book and we have them draw a picture of how to do that breath so that when they take their little breathing book home, they will remember how to do it. And then we connect that breath work to an anxiety provoking situation in their life where the next time they're in that situation, they can remember that they're going to do this breathing technique and help them bring their anxiety level down. So children have said, I don't like getting shots in the doctor's office. The next time I'm in the doctor's office, I want to do peace breath. Or, they'll just pick a breath. So as they're creating their little coloring book, what we're doing is providing them another tool for the next time they're in a situation where they need to help self-soothe. They have tools available to them. And there's another really, really important module we do on Thursday that's called Meeting Your Inner Critic and Inner Champion. And this one is one that I do also at a lot of professional development classes for teachers and education symposiums, because it provides a really fun, interactive way for children to meet their inner critic. And once they have met their inner critic, for kids, it's so much fun, but many times adults feel really almost embarrassed or ashamed to talk about the things that their inner critic says to them. But the kids are all over it. They can't wait to share and show pictures of it and tell us what its name is. But then they also do another guided meditation where they meet their inner champion. And through the exercises in the course of that work during the morning, they learn how to turn down the volume of their inner critic and turn up the volume of their inner champion. And I have this amazing drawing that a 7-year-old child did at Spirit Camp that shows a picture of a child with a broken heart. And around her are these thought bubbles that are saying, you'll never amount to anything. Nobody loves you. You're not smart. You're ugly. I mean, this is a 7-year-old child.
Right. Yeah.
And I knew the child's mom, and the child gave me the piece of paper and just said, yeah, I don't want this. And I stuck it in the back of my binder and didn't see it again for months because I was teaching all summer. And when I found it again, I opted to ask the mom if she'd like to see it. And when she saw it, she said, that will forever change the way I parent my child. I don't say those things to her, but I yell. And if that's what she's hearing behind the energy of my voice, that picture right there will change the way I speak to my child for the rest of my life. So I realized in that conversation with her that little 45-minute module is a gold mine for people who work with children, because it gives us insight into what's going on in the child's inner dialogue. And if we can help kids at 7 years old, like that little girl, her mom started working with her, then imagine how when these kids get to be teenagers, they will have the tools to understand that the thoughts they're thinking is not who they are. It's a part of who they are, and they can learn how to manage it and how to create more positive, loving self-talk.
So important. I
Mhm.
remember listening to Dr. Bruce Lipton, and he said that, the first 7 years of a child's life, they're in theta brainwave, and
Mhm.
they are just picking up everything that us as adults or parents or uh, you know adult figures are saying to them, and it's all monkey see, monkey do,
Mhm.
and it is just like the quotes from a Bible. It says, "Give me a boy, and I'll make him a man in 7 years." Here we are. Those 7 years are so crucial. How, like you just said, how we talk to children,
Mhm.
how we could be upset and go, "God bless it, can't believe you spilled it," instead of saying it was an accident, it's okay, don't worry, because then they're hearing, "I'm not good enough." They're
Exactly.
so it's flipping the script. And just like I'm going to talk about in my new book, changing the fu into thank you, flipping the script and seeing the gift. It's just so important to have that. what we're doing is, in the retreats that I do, we're going backwards. We're where we're at, and we're cleaning up those pieces that we took to mean like this happened to me. No, it didn't happen to you. It happened for you, and it happened for you for a reason. So I just think your work is fascinating, absolutely fascinating, and I thank you so much for doing it. It's really well needed. Now, go ahead.
Do you have time for another 5-year-old story?
I do. I love a
Okay.
5-year-old story.
Okay. So my friend sent her daughter to spirit camp when she was 5, and months later, she came home from work one day and was exhausted, and her daughter went up to her and said, "Mom, would you like me to align your chakras for you before dinner because I think you would feel better?" And my friend, her mom, said in that moment, she realized not only was she impressed that her daughter remembered that from spirit camp a few months before, but she realized the importance of this work because at 5 years old, her child could become a partner in the holistic well being of the entire family. And it's not just from the parents down anymore in terms of the well being. Like these kids learn what kind of foods to eat when they're feeling out of alignment because they know how the chakras impact them in their lives. So from the clothes they wear to the foods they eat to using gemstones and crystals and their healing attributes, and there's so much information that these kids leave with that they have the ability at such a young age to be partners in the health and well-being of the entire family. That's
I love
huge.
it's huge. I know, and I love it. And as you're talking, I'm like, who else can I introduce you to? Who else can I introduce you to? And my friend Karen Raden is a intuitive, a dietitian, and a nutritionalist. So I'm gonna mark down to make sure I introduce you to her. She's in Illinois, and another friend of mine who also went to, I believe she went to uh, Bastille College in Seattle. I believe it's in Seattle. And she does nutrition, but she works with children. And it'd be very interesting for her to know your work as well. And so I'll hook you up, sister. I'll hook
Oh,
you up.
thank you. Can I tell you a power animal story for kids? Because those of
Yes.
you who know shamanic journeying will understand how impactful this story is for this child. This child was 8, and I was doing a spirit camp in Virginia, and she was struggling trying to find her power animal in a shamanic journey. So I offered to do it on her behalf. And I came back with the essence of a starfish, which was
Mhm.
really unusual. I've never come back with starfish before. So I asked its importance in her life. And I was told that when a starfish loses one of its appendages, it will grow back. And this child is going through a lot of emotional turmoil right now. And she needs to know that she'll be okay. And I thought, I don't know how to say that to an 8-year-old. So I asked for the right words. And when I started sharing this information with her, she started patting her cheeks and just sobbing these tears of joy. And she kept saying, oh my God, you have no idea how much this means to me. Oh my God, this is so incredible." And I gave her plenty of opportunity to share more, and she chose not to. So I honored that. But when her dad came to pick her up at the end of the day, I did share the story with him because it was a huge reaction. And he said he understood the importance for her and that she was starting to come to terms with the fact that she felt like she was a boy trapped in a girl's body. And
Mm,
she was dealing with a lot of emotional turmoil around that. And that starfish medicine that she had just received that day was giving her hope, and that she knew she was going to be okay. And it was an affirmation from spirit that they've got her back. She has a power animal that is going to be there for her as she is going through the struggles that she was going through. So the family ended up supporting her by redoing her bedroom in a starfish theme so she could be surrounded by hope when she was in her bedroom. Isn't
I
that
love
beautiful?
that. I love that. That's beautiful.
There are
Uh,
so many stories like that of kids' lives just changing and being supported so much by the work that they're doing. And none of these tools are hard. I mean, I don't know if you know shamanic journeying, but once you've done a shamanic journey and you found your power animal, you've got a spirit helper that is there for you whenever you need it. Kids don't have that now. So we're providing them these really simple tools that all of us as adults use. Why aren't we teaching them to kids? They're simple. Kids
That's
can
so
use a
simple.
pendulum. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So simple. I actually, I have done a 2-year apprenticeship program in shamanic studies, Peruvian based. So my teachers studied with Alberto Vidiodo, and they
Oh,
also studied with I always get Oscar's name wrong, Oscar de Miro Quesada. So
mhm.
they studied with him. Um, what a beautiful story, Priscilla says. Data says, what a great story.
Oh,
Beautiful. Facebook user says chills. And then Emmy asked this question. I don't have grandchildren, but occasionally I'm around children. How can I support their spirits? What can I say?
well, I think one of the most important things is to just validate their experiences, because kids say the darndest things, and I think when children start talking about things that are out of the norm of our everyday experience, to just really listen with an open heart and an open mind, because I think children know so much more than we give them credit for. And as adults, so many of us have been shut down for a long time, and the kids aren't. So I think, kids are my greatest teacher. I learn as much from them as they learn from me. So I think just having conversations with children where you really are sitting and listening with an open heart and an open mind, and just validating whatever their experience is the most helpful thing that's the biggest gift you can give a child, to make them feel heard, seen, and loved.
So true. So true.
Mhm.
Um, Kathy says, I just bought my granddaughter a pendulum for Christmas. Thank you,
Yay.
Kathy. Sue says, when will Eva come back to your live and tell more stories? Kids are the strength of our future. Yes,
They
they
are.
are. And I will let you know, Sue, because Ava, you are always welcome to come back. You're
Oh,
always welcome to
thank
come back.
you.
Does anybody have any questions for Ava, just to, about her program, about more what she does, about the teacher training program? Anybody have any questions that they like to ask? Little Q&A. And while we're waiting for Q&A,
Yep.
I am doing something for these 12 days of Christmas. I'm doing 12 days of trivia. And people get to find out about me and stuff that I do, and stories that I've told, because I love I love telling stories, um, sharing them and keeping the memory of my parents alive and those that have gone before me.
Mhm.
Um, we're doing like trivia contests. People get candy cane points. So stay tuned, guys, because before we leave, we're going to do a really good candy cane trivia. So, and thank you, Priscilla, for saying this. Gabriella says, I want to know more about the teacher training program, please.
Okay, Gabriella, thank you for asking. We have a new program, teacher training program, starting January 8th and 9th. We'll be meeting one weekend a month, both Saturday and Sunday, from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Time. So we'll be meeting January 8th and 9th, February 5th and 6th, and March 5th and 6th. And this is a really perfect time to do a virtual training because, well, or the in person, because by March, you are ready to go to start booking your spirit camps for the summer. And then we have a live program in Worcester, Massachusetts for 6 consecutive days at the Hartwell Institute. And then people who are doing that in-person training are invited to stay and spend a second week with me when I will be teaching a spirit camp in person in Worcester. And I call it the immersion experience, where you get 2 weeks of training and then actually seeing it implemented and taught to the children. And you have an opportunity to do as much teaching as you want with me right there to support you as you're learning and growing. And I will be doing those immersion experiences this summer, where I'm looking to book 2 weeks in Portland, Oregon. I have 2 weeks in Maine. I'm looking for space to do 2 weeks in Ireland. And I have one more 2-week block of time throughout the course of the summer, and I am looking for a location. So if any of you have any ideas, I'd love to hear about it. But in the teacher training program, it's Monday through Friday. We are doing the actual Spirit Camp curriculum with the 3 different layers that I told you about before, learning it as the child would, experiencing it from the teacher's perspective, and then doing some processing time for those adults who have had things come up that they want to share. And then the 6th day is your practicum, where you are given a module to practice teach and teach to those of us who are there in the program. So you get to start diving in right away in your 6th day of training and just start embracing some of the curriculum and learning how to own it yourself so it comes out really naturally when you're teaching it. And
I
you
love
also
that.
get a business in a box, though. This is important to say too, because this really is a business and you can make some decent money at this. There's a camp I have every single summer where I am guaranteed a $6,000 week every single summer. And so you can really get some, if you get connected to certain locations and stuff, you can make a good chunk of change every week during the summer. And I give you what is called the business in a box, which gives you sample letters to send to facilities to see, to do like a cold call to see if you can rent space from them, timelines, sample budgets, press releases. You've got tons of resources to be able to go out and start creating your own source of income from this.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
That's really good. Kathy says, I bought her granddaughter a deck of cards. Is 12 years old too young to start to use them?
Oh, no. No, 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 not at all. I start using cards with kids at 5 years old. In fact, in my email that just went out yesterday, I created a random acts of kindness deck for kids ages 5 to 10, and I just sent it out in my email. Elias, I'll send it to you, and you can post it for your Facebook group if you'd like. It's just a free gift. This is Kindness Month for Dancing Jaguar, and I created the deck of kindness cards that I'm giving out far and wide to everybody so that you can just start using a simple tool like that with kids.
I love that. Theta has a question. Do children that go into like a trance, do you think they are gifted?
I'm not sure what she means by a trance, but I mean, kids do meditations with me. They do shamanic journeying with me. And in shamanic journeying, there is a bit of an altered state of consciousness. Um, for me, though, holy cow, kids just journey so darn fast. Like a
Yeah.
typical adult journey is like, 10, 12, 15 minutes, and kids are like in and out in 3 minutes. They
Yep.
are so connected to spirit. It doesn't take them a long time to get out of their left brain and kind of, you know, find their way into the spiritual realm. They just close their eyes, they're there, they're back, and they can't wait to talk about it. So I think all kids are gifted. Let me get back to that question. That I think all kids are gifted. All kids can do this work. And I have never had a child have a bad experience at spirit camp simply because they are learning about who they are. They're
Hmm.
learning how to show up in the world as a spirit in a human body. And they're learning that they are made up of energy, as is everything else around them. So they embody the knowledge that we are all one and we are all connected. Those are not just words for spirit campers because they have experienced meditating with a tree and getting a message from the tree and connecting to a plant in the garden. So yeah, their level of awareness is expanded so much beyond the average child. And it's really cool to hear the conversations that they have with each other, like at lunch and stuff. It's really sweet.
I love that. I just adore that. I think this is so awesome. Sarah has a question too. What types of venue do you use for spirit camps?
Okay, well, thanks, Sarah. That's a good question. I'm looking for facilities that are like typical kind of classroom space size for kids because we sit in circle and we do some teaching in circle. But then we also have the kids bring beach towels with them because not all kids have a yoga mat. And that beach towel becomes their personal space like a yoga mat would. So if there are 15 kids in the camp, we need to have room for 15 beach towels on the floor. And then we also do arts and crafts. It's a summer camp. So the kids are making their pendulums and dowsing rods and dream catchers and talking sticks and medicine pouches. So we need to have craft tables set up for that. So it's got to be like, a good sized classroom space so we can have the tables and chairs set up and we don't have to keep moving them. And then that inside floor space for circle time and being able to put the beach towels down for meditations and shamanic journeying. But the nature is a big part of spirit camp. So outdoors, access to nature, even if it's just a lawn with a couple of trees, that's okay. But that connecting to nature is a big, big piece of spirit camp. And then, of course, just bathrooms and running water.
I like this so much. I like this so much. And here is once again Eva's website, Dancing Jaguar Oops, there we go. DancingJaguarInspirations.com. Janelle, reach out to Eva. Janelle says, "Do you have any Fridays available next year for a guest appearance on my Phoenix Friday live stream?"
I do. If you would like to reach out to me, Janelle, it would be an honor to be able to be a guest on your program. I would love
Yep.
that.
Yep. And Priscilla, you're going to need to go over to YouTube, please. Thank you so much. And thank you for that. Irma, good evening. And we have no idea what this is. So thank you for joining. And I have a beautiful evening. Gabriella says, incredible. Thank you. And oh, great. Thank you. They're angel cards. Perfect. Janelle loves the love kindness ideas. Facebook user, who are you? And you're going to have to watch the replay. So come on back and watch the replay. Too much information to tell you what you missed. And animals are connected. Yes, so true. Thank you for explaining. It's like that, and so is my granddaughter. Awesome. Oh, I was like that. Yep. Hello, Christy. Thank you. Is this just a day camp?
Yes, it is a day camp. But the thing too is that when you are a certified spirit camp teacher, you get to teach Dancing Jaguars Spirit Camp, use the logo, use the brand when you are teaching it as a summer camp. However, you can use this curriculum year round because, like some of the modules I talked about earlier, Inner Critic and Inner Champion and the breathing books, and we do gratitude modules and affirmations and all kinds of stuff that can be mainstreamed right into public schools. And that's really an important part of all of this, is getting it mainstreamed as much as we can. So there's a number of modules on Thursday at Spirit Camp where the woo-woo factor has been extracted, and we can go straight into after-school programs, in-school programs, weekend workshops. And this, you can actually be teaching the entire curriculum throughout the entire calendar year. It's not just the summer camp, although if you are wanting to teach Dancing Jaguar Spirit Camp and use the logo and the brand and stuff like that, it has to be that 30-hour summer camp program, but you can use the material year round. There was one other thing I wanted to say, and I just forgot what it was. Shoot, it'll come back.
Janelle says, is there a lot of red tape regarding permission, consent? Do you require both parents' permission?
No. Nope. I have never required both parents' permission. I've never had parents having an issue with this. If there has been an issue, I have not been privy to it. That's really between the two parents to work out. But I have not had any issues with parents coming from different places. Typically if a child is in spirit camp, I'm so open on my website with all of the woo-woo stuff that's going on in spirit camp. Like as long as somebody is just looking up what their kid's going to, they're going to know it's a woo-woo camp. And I would be between the parents to work that out.
Awesome. Two things. One,
yes.
Are you able to stay because we're going to do a guided meditation. Are you able to stay for that? And if you have to go, no worries. And I would love for you to come back and chat, because I think, we have just touch the scale a little bit on, all the stuff that you offer and all the programs. And I'm just so grateful once again for you. I mean, I was so excited again when I saw you at the expo, but this work is important, you guys. It's really important. And wouldn't it be wonderful, like Eva said, to have a teacher in every state? Could you imagine? Could you imagine if we had teachers all over the world? I think it would be so phenomenal. And just kudos to you to doing this. Priscilla says, thank you. Would love for you to come back.
Oh, thank you, Priscilla.
So I'm just going to cue something up really quickly because I didn't do it right away. And it's, and I have a gnat. I don't know, these fruit gnats, I don't understand them. It's like, here we go. Okay. And so guys, if you can, please, this is, yes, Tracy, it's working now. Thank you. What a lovely lady you are and such important work. Thank you. I find this fascinating. Janelle says, thank you. Continue blessings be on you and all that you do. Love it, love it, love it, guys. I'm just going to stop this.
I love your audience.
They're great, aren't they? I'm so blessed to have and this is just a small piece of them. I mean, usually I've been on Saturdays, but for the winter, I'm going to be on Fridays. And Fridays, we get a lot of people. And this does go on 3 platforms. So it goes on my Facebook, my business Facebook page. It also goes to Psychic Squares 2021. And then it also goes on my YouTube channel. So we have 3 of these platforms that, people can watch it whenever. And that's why I was talking about you the whole month. Like, guys, please come and hear what you have to say, because I think it's phenomenal. You guys, if you can get on the call and tell them to call again when this pre-call is for the Zoom, for the teacher training.
Oh, the teacher training call will be on Wednesday, December 29th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And I will be creating a graphic for that, and I will make sure that I send that over to you, Elias. All right?
And it's about an hour, right?
It's an hour-long call, yes. And I can answer lots of questions. And like I said, I've got a gazillion stories about how this changes the lives of children. And I mean, this is really going to change the world. I mean, if there are thousands of kids learning this, can you imagine how different our world will be in 20 years?
I know.
Yeah, this is huge.
And that's why this work is so important. And yes, guys, for those of you that are wondering, so it's 4:00 Pacific, which means you'll be done by 5:00, which means I'll be out at 5:00 Pacific. So you can go with Eva first, then come back, because Laura Wooster will be back on December 29th. She has worked with John Holland. She's worked with Joe Shield. She's worked with Janet No Havoc. Do you know who Janet No Havoc is?
I don't think I do.
She's on the East Coast. She's in New Hampshire. She has a spiritual, she teaches mediumship. And she has this might be another person.
I need to know her. Yeah, she's in my neighborhood.
She's in your hood. And look her up, Janet No Havoc. And she's just an amazing woman. And that's who I did my advanced mediumship, was with John Holland and Janet No Havoc. I was in Virginia Beach. That might be another one, Eva. Contact the Edgar Cayce Society in Virginia Beach.
I have. And, they have their own summer program for children. They have the Edgar Cayce summer camp for kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll come up with
Who knew?
Who knew?
Yeah.
And, I'm planning, crossing fingers, I'm planning on doing a Honoring Your Inner God and Goddess in Greece in 2024. So we might have to talk about something like that.
Oh,
so yeah, that would be fun. Janelle says, Elias, can you send me the graphic advertisement when you get it, please? Sure. So why don't you, Janelle, also Facebook friend Ava, and
Yeah.
then you guys can also connect that way too. That's great. All right, you are more than welcome to stay for a guided meditation. I know it's um, almost 9 o'clock there, so it's up to you, my dear.
I would love to, but I do have a 9 o'clock appointment with
Okay,
another friend. So,
no worries.
I have so enjoyed this. I just wanna thank you so much. I love your audience, and I would love, love, love to connect again, and I think you and I just need to connect in a regular old Zoom
Oh,
call
of
because,
course we do. Of
like, we're
course we
buddies
do.
now. I love this.
I love it too. Thank you, my dear. And again, many, many, many good wishes on all the work that you do.
Thank you. And
Thanks for being here.
how do I gracefully get out of here? Or do you take me out? Oh, leave
I can,
studio.
you could leave studio. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thanks, honey.
Bye-bye.
Be well. So nice. She's like the nicest person. I am so grateful to have these wonderful people um, just be introduced to them. And the work that she does is really important. And I hope you guys check out her teacher training program. I think that's something that is great. And yes, her voice was so soothing. Priscilla, this could be something that you could do. You can do, you've taught, so teaching children. Fascinating. Okay, guys, we're going to do a meditation and then we're going to do a little bit of trivia. So let's get ready as I get this going here. There we go. So take a nice breath in. And as you close your eyes, I want you to just think of what we just said right now. Think of Ava's beautiful energy, about the hope that she has and the passion that she has. And I want you to imagine what a world would look like for children. For children to have hope, to be able to use tools that allows them to feel safe, grounded, strong, allows them also to be compassionate. What would a world look like that? And imagine if we started using those tools, if we were more kinder to ourselves. Place your hand on the center of your chest. And imagine putting a smile there. Imagine that smile growing so big that your heart grew. And someone came along and wanted to wipe that smile away, but they couldn't because your heart's too big. Your heart's too strong. Your heart can take flight and win every day, and win in graciousness, and win in hope, and win in kindness. So many things can happen when we have an open heart, an open mind, love, joy, hope. compassion, love. And it all starts with loving ourselves. Hear, see, feel the words that you say to yourself, the actions that you do, and what you see for yourself. Don't look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm so ugly. Look in the mirror and see the beauty. If you can pick just one thing that you like, focus on it. And the next day, pick 2 things. And the next day, pick 3 until you say, I am comfortable in my body. I love me. And when you love yourself, amazing things can happen. Feel that heart grow. Feel the smile there. And see your heart take flight. And when you rest your head on the pillow tonight, you'll wake up refreshed, alive, confident, and hopeful. Take a breath in and come back to the here and now. How are we feeling, everybody? What a great evening, and it went by so fast. It went by so fast having Eva here. And yes, I'm pretty sure, she will come back and just have fun. All right, you ready to play a little trivia? But before we do the trivia, um, excellent, Theta, excellent. Crystal, awesome, thank you. Before we play the trivia, remember, guys, we have a couple things coming up. So we have a special guest, mystery guest on Friday. Come join us at 5 p.m. Central. And we also have guided meditation on Saturday and Sunday. So still in the morning, 8 a.m. Pacific. Also remember that we're starting a new year for the Inner Collective, our private Facebook group. And I just have to tell you, some workshops that will be offered through Inner Collective only. We'll be making prayer ties. We'll be talking about crystals and love. We'll do summer solstice. We're going to do intentional spray making. So making your own intentional spray. We're going to talk about angel speak. And then we're also going to talk about oils and renewal. So all these things are a couple of the workshops that will be offered solely in the Inner Collective. And so excited. And yes, 5 o'clock Pacific time for Friday. Now also Christmas Day, if you're going to be by yourself or you and a significant other are just celebrating Christmas on your own, come join me 1 o'clock for Christmas, 1 o'clock Pacific time. And all you have to do is email me at elias@eliaspatras.com and put Christmas in the link, in the subject line, and I'll send you the link. I don't want anybody to be alone for Christmas. So join me. What else we got going on? Oh, on the eve of New Year's Eve, so on the 30th, we have Get the Yuck 2021 Out. So that is a Zoom workshop. It is about how do we let go of all the stuff for the new year? How do we let go of all that stuff? How do we get the yuck out and really align ourselves to what is important for us? And that workshop is via Zoom. So you can send me an email for that and I'll send you the link. It's $20.21. 2021. The last thing I want to tell you is despacho ceremony. I'll write up something about it so you can see it, but that's a free event. That's going to be on Zoom. We're going to make a despacho together, which is like an earth-based mandala. So it'll be fun. It'll be super fun. Okay, so trivia. Ready? This question is worth 2 candy cane points because you get another one for one more candy cane point. So you would collect 3 candy cane points if you can do the following. What were the first 2 decks that I've used? The first 2 decks. One deck I still use today, and another deck was like the very first deck I've used. And actually, you'll get an additional, I just had to think about it. You'll get an additional one if you can name the 3 first decks that I've had. 3 first decks. Okay. If you name the first 3, I'm gonna give you 5 candy cane points. 5 candy cane points. If you can name 2, you get 3. If you name 1, you get 1 candy point. Okay? So, ready, set, go. And since we're doing that, I'm going to use these right now, Sacred Destiny Oracle cards. And just so you guys know, what am I making for Christmas Day dinner? Well, I am making, let's see, for Thanksgiving, it was manicotti. And my roommate, John's kids are coming over. He has 2 boys. They're coming over for Christmas dinner. So, I figured, why not? So they love the manicotti. And I said, oh, what do you want? They're like, oh, we'll do pasta. So I said, okay. Oh, I love this. Love that card that just popped up. Okay. We'll do pasta. And I said, do you want lasagna? No. Do you want manicotti again? No. You didn't like it? No, we loved it because they're vegetarian. So I made it with cheese and spinach. So I'm doing stuffed shells, basically the same thing, but I'm making a Parmesan cream cheese sauce that will go on top of the stuffed shells, and then drizzle it with marinara. Repeat the points, sure. All 3 decks, 5 points. 2 decks, 3 points. 1 deck, 1 point. How's that? Oh, you had the Greek spaghetti. You had the macaronada. Yeah, you had the Greek long macaroni. We always did that for New Year's Day. It was tradition. We'll see. Okay. All 3 decks are flyers, at least when I'm around. That's so true. I love it. Okay, let's see, guys. Let's see what you got. Yep, and yep. You are correct. Okay. I love this, guys. Okay. For everybody that's watching, look at this. Miracles. Miracles. Openness. Miracles can happen when you're open. Miracles can happen when you're open. We have to look at the miracles every day. Isn't it interesting that I think it was a couple days ago that we did the guided meditation, and it was about miracles. So love it. Love it, love it, love it. With mitzvah cheese, I know. Mitzvah is a really good Greek cheese. Gabriella, if you're still on, do you guys do macaronada? Do you do chicken kapama? No, you spelled it right. You spelled it right. Okay. So, guys, I gave you a little stall time. Okay. Does anybody remember Not for New Year's. Oh, interesting. We've always done it for New Year's. Um, Fascinating. Okay. Beth. Okay. Gabriella, interesting. Emmy, interesting. Rose, interesting. Okay, guys. So this was a good one. Let me just see. Let me just see. Um, okay, my moderators that are on. Whoops. I know. Whoops. Sorry. I don't know what I just did. Okay, sorry about that, Janelle. Um, oh, I don't know what I'm doing there. I just clicked on different buttons. Sarah, you know. Okay, moderators. Let's see if you know. Let's see if the moderators know. What were the three decks that I've used? Now, one deck I still use, the other two I don't. Can anybody tell me what my very first deck was? And then I moved on to another deck, and then I still have the deck that I use now. Okay. Close. Okay, so I think we stumped Priscilla. It's always a good one if you stump Priscilla. Okay. Sarah, any idea? And we we stumped our moderators. Wow. I stumped my moderators. Okay. So you would get a candy cane point, Sarah. So here are I know you're focusing on candy cane points. So the answer is this. My very first deck was the animal medicine card deck by Jamie Sams. That was my very first deck, was the animal ones. The second one after that were the Mother Peace deck. They're the round ones. They're really cool, by the way. Round cards. And then the cards that I always use to this day, one second. I have them wrapped up in a beautiful silk cloth. This is the second edition. So if I had still the first edition, I would have these for, gosh, dare I say, let's see. Yeah, it's almost, I would have had them for 20 years. So these are called the Healing Earth deck. Let's pick a card from here, why not? The Healing Earth deck. Okay, I'm shuffling very gently. Okay, and let's do it again. So congratulations, Sarah. You won a candy cane point. So I hope you guys are having fun with these trivia things. Oh, and see, Janelle's still here. So, oh my God. Except they're a pain in the butt. So here's a great story about this deck. I got this deck, the second edition, and we just got Willow. And Willow was a puppy. She was 5 months old. And I had these opened on the dining room table. When we got home, the deck was on the floor, and one card was chewed up. And I was like, oh my God. And it was a time in my life where I was doubting. I didn't do the lives yet. And I was doubting this work. Like, should I really continue? Should I do this work? Should I, what do I need to do? I'm asking for a sign. Do I need to just go back to, advertising and do that? So it was interesting. So this was the card, Wise Old Woman. So Willow chewed up this card. She left everything else, all the other cards, and you can see that this is quite a large deck here. And she chewed up this card. So I went to my printing place, and they got a picture of this online and made it a card. And then they took one of the other cards and made the back for it. So she did a great job, actually. But here's the two cards that showed up for us. We must follow our passion. We have the strength to follow our passion to make things happen. And then we have to stand up for what we believe in. We have to stand up for what we believe in. I love these cards. I haven't used them in a long time. So they're really, really great. I mean, look at the Tower card. Super cool. But I haven't used them in a while. And I just think they're just beautiful. They're beautiful cards. Just amazing. They're very indigenous. And I love them. So Healing Earth deck. And what I like to do with the deck of cards, guys, is when I shuffle, still my hand is not correct. So a little bit difficulty there, but intention, right? I always blow the energy when I'm done, and then wrap it up back in its beautiful silk that I got from Japan from a friend. All right. So guys, thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much. And again, Eva, if you're watching this part of the replay, thank you so much again for being here. Remember, we are here to connect. And when we connect, we educate one another. And when we educate one another, we grow. There is unity in community. From my heart to yours, have a beautiful night, and I'll see you very soon. Take care, everyone.